Welcome everybody to episode number 62 of Gaming Culture Radio. I'm your host Tyler, joined as always by our three co-hosts. Let's start with Mike. How you doing today, sir?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. So I take it you're doing well.
I was eating some cereal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. I take it you're doing well. All right. So also joining us is...
At least he's well fed.
Yes.
Well, hold on. You can't say you're eating cereal without telling us what kind of cereal you're eating.
That's true. And I will
Crunch
judge you
Berries.
based on your cereal. What was that?
Captain Crunch Crunch Berries.
Okay, that's
right.
acceptable.
Good enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like all berries or just normal Captain Crunch with berries?
Captain Crunch with berries. Gotta
Okay,
have both.
good. All right, good.
All right.
Good.
All right. Also joining us is Graham. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Not gonna lie, I'm a little tired, but overall,
Yeah?
I'm good. The heat is exhausting, and I know you guys are like, "Well, tell me about it."
Oh, yeah.
but working.
Please,
Yeah, but
tell me
come on,
more
I mean-
about the heat in Canada.
Yeah.
Listen,
Shut
I'm
up.
crawling
Yeah.
in attics, so I'm.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So-
I'll give you that. Okay.
Okay.
So in the ag, it's probably about as hot as it is outside here. So I'll give you that.
Okay.
Also joining us is Eugene. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I had a tuna sandwich for lunch. Since
Fantastic.
we're talking about food.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Fantastic.
But also in cereal
You're
news.
an idiot.
In cereal news.
We're being cereal
I've been-
now, guys. We're being cereal.
Yeah.
This is very cereal.
Super cereal. Yes.
Super cereal. Post Oreo O's. I've been eating those for the past 2 weeks. You know,
All right.
Trying to get regular.
Cool.
Post Oreo
Well-
O's. That's what they're known for. You know?
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, sweet. Everybody's having cereal and having a good time. So
I had cereal
If-
this morning. If we're gonna talk about
awesome.
cereal.
So I feel like I have to have some after the show now. So before we jump into news, if you want to join the conversation, head over to Facebook and join the Gaming Culture Radio forums, where you can join the conversation and submit questions to be read on the show. We'll read some later in the episode. If yours is read on air, you are entered to win one of our monthly giveaway. We'll be doing one here in a couple episodes at the end of July. So please head over to Facebook, sign up, take part in that. We had a few people sign up this week. That's awesome. So keep that coming, please. Also, news on the Xbox Culture, PlayStation Culture front. We are kind of having a reboot, so some things sort of happened. I'm not going to get into all of that for you, but as of, we believe, next Monday, we're going to be launching a brand new site. It's not going to be 2 or 3 different sites for all the gaming news anymore. It's going to be one consolidated site, which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And the site is going to be called, it won't be too different from
Mike
our
Rules.
podcast here. It's not MikeRules.com. It is cultureofgaming.com, right, Eugene? Yes? No?
Yeah, yes, it is. Well, I'm sorry. I was looking up MikeRules.com to see if that was an actual domain. So I don't know
So-
what Mike would have made that. But anyway, yes, it is cultureofgaming.com. Also .net and .org. We have those domains as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Hopefully, maybe even by this weekend, we might see a glimpse of it. But
Yeah.
definitely by Monday, Tuesday, I think it'll be launched. The designer's working on it right
Yep.
now. We've got pretty much everything planned. I mean, I think we got a good team of writers. We got about 30 writers and editors from
Yep.
around the world, including a few of us here. So we got a lot of
Yep.
content planned.
Yeah.
Tyler, you're over media and entertainment. So
Yes, I will have all of the Twitch, YouTube, and podcast content. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm cool. I'm looking forward to bringing some cool content to everybody in the video and audio realm. And I think that's something that we needed on that family of sites before. And it's an opportunity for us to consolidate a little more with them. And we were aligned with them, and it was awesome. It was a cool partnership. But I feel like we're sort of part of the family now, while still keeping our own thing, which is fantastic. And what will be the official podcast for Culture of Gaming. And that'll all get kicked off next week. But it's all the same writers, mostly the same writers from Xbox Culture. So if you think it's going to be dramatically different from the same great coverage we got there, it's not. I do think, though, from conversations, we'll probably see a little more focus on the reviews, previews, and editorial parts of writing. Not necessarily so much on the news, like, hey, this game got an update today. That stuff's important, and the important news we're going to make sure we bring to you. But we want to get you. We know that people visit gaming websites because they're passionate about gaming and they're already kind of informed, and they want to talk about it. And they want to take part in conversation. So we're going to try to facilitate that for you. and give you an environment where we can have that conversation. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be a really cool thing. So please lend your support early on, and it's start of a brand new thing. And I think we can all relate with that. Starting a podcast a little over a year ago, and what that's like, and it's pretty exciting to be able to start it and kind of define it as you go. So.
Yeah,
looking forward to that. That'll be.
I think
go ahead, Eugene.
The most important aspect is we're allowed to write on for multiple consoles now,
yes.
which includes Nintendo and PlayStation. I know I'm excited. I know Graham's excited because it's just torture for him. He would be writing video game articles, but he couldn't even talk about Zelda since it's all Xbox. So I'm really excited that we can expand out and talk about PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever we want to.
Yeah, for sure.
Have that freedom. So it'll be great.
So
exciting times ahead, exciting times, and glad to have people on board and following us.
And I want to say one last thing on it. Please, everybody out there, don't think it's going to be just this tiny website that nobody goes to. We post our stuff on N4G. We drive a lot of traffic through the site. So please have confidence that it's going to be a great site right away. We're all committed to that. And I think it's going to be a place you can visit, one-stop shop for all your gaming news and opinions. So anything else on that, guys?
No. It's our first step to taking over the world. So
yes. Yes. So, big boys out there, all you heavy hitters of the gaming coverage world, here we come.
Yeah.
So
watch out now.
With that, let's head into news this week. So, some cool stuff going on this week, actually. If you're excited about Destiny 2, like I am, you can preload the beta starting today on Xbox One and PS4. If you have a pre-order code. So if you pre-order the game and have a code, you can preload the game starting today. So, Graham, I know you're having an issue with Amazon. You haven't gotten a code yet. So if you haven't gotten a code yet, please reach out and contact them. Let them know that you need that code. And they'll probably get it out to you early, so you don't have to wait till the day of to get it and then wait for the game to load. So I imagine the beta is going to be sizable.
Yeah, I was going to say, any word on the size of it? Nobody knows
I did not see that. I'm sure it's out there. I just didn't happen to see it, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be a sizable download for you. So I would guess 20 plus, if I had to guess right now.
I would say at least 20.
Mm-hmm. So that starts on the 19th for Xbox One and the 18th for PS4. So coming up soon. And then the 21st for anybody that has not pre-ordered the game. So, all right. Up next, Xbox will once again have a live show Gamescom after a couple of years without doing it. And they'll have the Xbox One X there in Cologne, Germany for attendees to play. The live show is going to be Sunday, August 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which is fantastic because in the past at Gamescom, they had their show at like 5 in the morning here in the States. So they've adjusted that. It's at 3 p.m., so it'll be kind of, 9 or 10 probably in Germany. Mm-hmm. Eastern time, or in Germany time. But it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern time. They'll have news on the Xbox One X.
Germany time.
Yeah, Germany time, whatever it is over there, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will let us know. But they'll have news on the Xbox One X. They'll have more games, and they say a few surprises. So
what could that be?
I don't know. Hopefully not too much on Crackdown because, man, everything that's coming out of that game just makes it look more disappointing. So... A little worried about that one, but it's not even on my radar now for pre-order, honestly. It really isn't, and that's sad. But we will have an extra show for you that way, like we did during E3, so that'll be Sunday, August 20th. We don't know if PlayStation's doing one yet. I'm sure we'll hear in the coming weeks, but they typically don't at Gamescom.
Yeah, they usually just have a small presence, like a small booth. That's about it.
They usually have a bigger presence at Tokyo Game Show, and then the PlayStation Experience, obviously. So we'll probably have extra coverage for you there for them, but we will have an extra show covering Xbox at Gamescom. So we're looking forward to that a little over a month from now. Xbox One has an update rolling out today that includes custom gamer picks, cooperative streaming on Mixer, and custom tournaments starting with Killer Instinct if you're interested in doing that. I'm really looking forward to the custom tournaments feature, guys, so we can create some tournaments here for our community with different games once they kind of spread it out to other games. Anything you're really looking forward to in this?
Yeah, Stutter Pro 5000.
Okay.
But I thought you meant for tournaments. I like the fact that you can do the co-op streaming because I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that want to do that. having two voices on at the same time is not such a bad thing. Because you have two people with two different reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you react different to stuff than I do. So,
right.
Having us on there would be what do you call that? Be polarized. So.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Anything else, Eugene, Graham? Anything you're looking forward to?
Well, I like the idea that it's given the opportunity, like you said, for like the community to get together and like play games and have tournaments. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad to see that, and because this is kind of thing what people are looking for to have little tournaments between friends or little communities and stuff like this. So the fact that they're making it more accessible and easier to set up, that's great. And the fact cooperative streaming on Mixer, especially if like when Battlegrounds comes out, like because that to me that stream's a great game for streaming, and then it's not you're just watching the one guy die repeatedly over and over, which would probably be me. But then you could watch other people, right? So definitely looking for that, and there's some great options there to enhance the experience on the Xbox One.
Yep, and I think things like the the raid in Destiny, to see different viewpoints, because everybody's doing something different. Mm-hmm. So different viewpoints, things like that are going to be kind of cool. Obviously, for multiplayer shooters, it's going to be great. And there's other types of games too, where even racing games where different people are at in the stage to see kind of where they're at. So the cooperative streaming is going to be really cool. Eugene, anything you're really looking forward to here?
I really like that cooperative gaming aspect. Everything Graham said about seeing it from two's perspective is interesting. But I'm excited for a customer. Customer. I'm excited for the customer. I'm the customer.
Yes.
I'm excited for the custom gaming picks. That's something I've waited for a long time. I'm not a big fan of the avatars and those preloaded gamer picks that they have for the Xbox One.
Yes.
They're not unique enough, and none of them really appeal to me. So I've had like the same. I have a rabbit in the tuxedo, I'm pretty sure, which I don't really care for. So I want to have my own like South Park or whatever I'm in the mood for that week. Have it as my gamer pick. So that's why I'm excited for.
All right. Cool. So, Graham, you were so excited about this week. You texted me, and we're like, "This is awesome."
True. And I don't normally text you.
No, not terribly. We do, but not all the time. WWE 2K18 is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I think it's really cool too. And not because it's necessarily WWE, but because I think it's the perfect type of game for that system, where it's sort of a fighting game, but not really. But it's a perfect type of game to play with a friend, with the controllers and looking, having the individual sides of the controllers in each person's hand and just playing that. Now, it's not going to release alongside the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions on the 17th of October, but it is coming out this fall. So, any thoughts on this, guys? Do you think this is a good game for the Switch? I think it's a big get. They haven't had a WWE game in 5 years at least, so it's a big get for them.
I think so, and not a lot of people think about it, but the WWE franchise and just wrestling games in general really appeal to the families. You may not think that, but I remember one of my favorite games for the N64 was WWF. There's a Nitro game, and then there's the one with us. There's the Stone Cold Steve Austin one. I forgot the name of that one.
I forgot what they're called. Eventually,
there's WCW. There's WCW versus NWO. I really like that one.
Yep.
A lot of those games are really fun, and I haven't really picked up a WWE game, but this might be it. My only biggest concern is FIFA. FIFA, they took away a lot of the features for the Switch. You think they will take away some features?
They have confirmed that it's gonna. They have confirmed that it's all the same features.
Okay.
I'm thinking this would be the type of game where they could keep most features.
Yeah, everything's in the game, including their story mode, including the create a character mode, all that stuff, which is awesome.
That's perfect.
So
perfect. I don't have any complaints now. I don't know if I'll get it, but that's all I got to say about it.
The reason why I text you, Tyler, is because I know you're a big WWE fan, and you have a Nintendo Switch that it's not doing much at your place right now.
Graham,
so
I bought.
It's going to give you an opportunity. What'd you buy?
I bought 2 Switch games.
You bought Mario Kart.
Yep, I did.
Yes.
Good man.
I bought
Mario Kart Fridays.
I bought Mario Kart, and can you guess the other one? Because I've actually mentioned it before as a game that I think would be cool on Switch.
Oh.
Versus Xbox.
Versus Xbox.
It's on both.
Rocket League? Is that out yet?
No, it's not out yet.
That's not out yet.
Just Dance 2017.
You got me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. It's not that, actually. The Lego City Undercover game.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's perfect. But I didn't know. Yeah. Cool.
I think that's perfect type of game to play like before bed or something for like 20 minutes and whatever, every day. So
yeah,
that's cool.
I think I think WWE will be perfect for you since you're having WrestleMania matches at work, so you can just take your Switch with you and just duke it out over the Switch.
Well, that beat him up through the game.
No, because it requires a level of intellect to work it. So I can't help other people.
Well, I mean, you can make custom characters, so you can make whoever you want to, and
I can. That is true.
There you go.
That's true. So that's a good idea.
The controls will probably be more robust with the Switch, because they have all these other options that the Xbox controller doesn't. So, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see it actually playing on it. But I did go to pre-order this week. It's not over for pre-order yet, but I think that's because there's no release date. So, but I did look it up to see if I can get it, and it's just not there for pre-order on Amazon yet. So, anyway, up next, if you've checked out Netflix's Castlevania series and you're a fan or just interested in it, you'll be happy to know the series already got renewed for a second season with double the episodes of the first. And if you guys watched this, I haven't seen it yet. Have any of you checked it out?
No, I haven't.
I've heard lots of raving reviews, though. A lot of people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. I see it on the top of the screen all the time, but I end up watching Frasier and falling asleep. So
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it. I've added it to my queue, and I love anime. I'm a big anime fan, and I'm somewhat of a Castlevania. I mean, I've never really beaten a Castlevania, and really after the PlayStation, after Symphony of the Night, I really never jumped into it. Mm-hmm. So I think it looks great. Everyone's talking about it. From what I understand, it's a 4-part series, 4 episodes. Really, they said it's just basically a movie that's broken up into episodes. So it really quick and easy. You can watch it really fast. And but I'm glad that they're dedicated to a part 2 or season 2 or whichever.
Yeah, I think it's great. We have a question in our questions related to this, so we'll kind of hang on to further discussion of this till then. But yeah, I think it's cool that this is getting support and reception has been good, and it's getting a second season. So fantastic. All right, finally news. Analyst Michael Patcher, who is well known for having accurate gaming console predictions, has predicted that the PlayStation 5 will launch in 2019, which is a year later than we've heard previously. He thinks Sony will wait until there's at least 50% adoption of 4K televisions before launching. Kind of makes sense, but also believes that it'll be backwards compatible with PS4 games. That's the part I want to talk about. That's a big departure in policy and practice for Sony. Do you guys think that's coming?
I can't believe it. Because, look at it this way. There are people going to be stacking their PS4 libraries for the next 2 years. You better make sure that, they can still play those games.
Yeah, I agree.
What a waste that would be.
Yeah. But then again, people bought Last of Us on PlayStation 3, and a few months later they couldn't play it on the new console. So, I don't know.
We're talking about another 2 years, dude.
Yeah. Right. But Graham, Eugene, any thoughts?
If they don't do this, this will be a serious misstep. Like Mike said, now games are getting really robust and takes a long time to beat, and people have probably PS4 games that they haven't played yet or they still intend to beat. So if the PlayStation 5 comes out and they can't play this, they're just going to be upset, and they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy a PS5 until I'm done playing these PS4 games or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I really believe that they have to jump on board with the backwards compatibility, and they need to plan this, making the system. Because I understand, okay, we made the system and it's not capable of backwards compatible, but now they know that this is a big thing that fans want, and there's nothing wrong with PlayStation 4 games, so let them have it and get your stuff together.
So, almost more importantly than the games, what about the accessories? That's a big investment for people.
I wouldn't mind new accessories for the PlayStation. I'm pretty sure the Bluetooth headset will transfer over, and I mean they transferred over from the last system. But the controller, for all I care, they can make a new controller because I'm not a huge fan of the PS4 controller. You know, unless you're one of those people that bought like a $250 scuff gaming controller, you know, for the PS4. It doesn't really bother me. Make a new controller, make it better. I know everyone argues the offset sticks, but that's not even the part that bugs me about the PlayStation controller. It's the layout. It's that little touchpad in the middle. It's the triggers still feel weird to me.
Options button.
The option, the location of the options button. That's the biggest thing to me is fix the layout, not necessarily offset, because a lot of people like the non-offset stick, so it's really preference. So I think they'll keep that for the core Sony fans. But accessories make me a new controller. As for the date, I think it's a good date, or year rather, 2019. I think 2018 might be a little bit too soon, but 2019 is a good year.
So let me ask this last question on this. Do you think that this opens the door for the One X to get a stronger foothold and be more successful? Because if people said, "Oh, I got to wait 1 year for my new PlayStation," then they might be willing to wait. But now it's 2.
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement, Tyler. I really do.
Me too.
I was thinking the same thing. This is really good for Xbox, and I think they will benefit from this.
No, yeah, big time. I mean, there's no question about it. But you want to talk about accessories? You remember that wireless earpiece they had for the 360? They never fixed that to work with the Xbox One, and that was like the best thing ever. So.
Yeah, and they still haven't put out anything similar for the One. And I mean, I've kind of moved on to the more like Turtle Beach headset type of thing because it is better audio. But I remember on the 360, I really liked that wireless, just in 1 ear headset.
Yeah. My nephew
was
had
kind of
that,
nice.
actually.
It was simple.
Yep, it was simple and it was nice. So the charge actually held for a while.
Yeah, it did.
So and over a long period of time, which is good. So yeah. All right. Anything else on that, guys? All right, that's it for news this week. Graham, let's turn over to you. What can we get new in stores?
Okay, well, I would say arguably the biggest release for next week is the one for the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is the second iteration of, I'm going to say, a cult following series because it's been doing really well. And what I'm referring to is the very successful first-person shooter Splatoon 2. Now, this game, like I said, it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive, and it will be available to Switch gamers of the world, and it all begins on July 21st. So, what are you going to be getting this, Eugene? Because
I am waiting on reviews because I'm really curious. I played the Splatoon open beta or the whatever it was. Is like an hour you're allowed to play. It was all right, but it didn't show a lot of features. So I watched the Splatoon direct as well, and I really didn't see anything that interested me. If there's more people playing online, if there's better party functionality, if there's ways to team up with people and go into a lobby together, then because those are that's you've got to have that stuff in a shooter. You've got to.
And I'm pretty sure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying if they ignore those features. Which they may have announced it. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. All I hear about is everyone complaining about the headset, which is still ridiculous.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Yeah, it's so dumb. That's what a lot of people are focusing on. But if it doesn't have the core features that a first-person shooter should have when it comes to grouping up together, lobbying up with friends, and jumping into a match and working together and being able to chat and everything, then it's going to be a bust for me. So I'll wait on reviews and I'll wait for a full release of all features.
So Eugene did real quick. Sorry, Eugene, did you play the first one?
I played it for the Wii and it was okay, but it was missing all that stuff. You could only jump into a lobby and then have Team Red, Team Orange, Team Blue, and that's it. And shoot against each other and gain territory. That's all it was. So it needs more gameplay features. It needs more modes, which they've already announced all that. More weapons, customizable characters. They've announced all that, but I haven't heard anything about partying and lobbying together. Which they didn't say anything about it for Mario Kart, but it was included in Mario Kart where you could link up together and go online together. So
and I know with the launch of this comes out that the Party Chat app but I'm pretty sure this app will only be working for Splatoon 2. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work, but I'm not just going to buy this game just to find out. So I'll be like Eugene. I'll just look up reviews and see what people have to say about it. And I want to be optimistic, and hopefully it launches well for them. But this is not a game that I'm banking on anyway for the Switch. Yeah. So I have my Xbox for first-person shooters, which I would prefer to play on anyways.
I hate to keep ragging on Nintendo, but I have to download an app separately for Splatoon
on your phone.
Chat. Yeah. So like I would understand, like, well, I don't understand, like they have this, they are going to have a Nintendo chat app, they said, but you're telling me that it's a Splatoon chat app?
Yeah, it's so
stupid. So for every game that I buy, I have to download a separate app.
I think you might.
I don't know if it's a separate app, but I think this is the first one that it's going to be coming out for, and this is the only one it's going to be for.
Just integrate it in the system, Bluetooth, real simple. Make a USB dongle. I don't know what you have to do just to make it where we can hook up Bluetooth devices to it. Very simple. Fix it. Fix it.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything to say on this?
No, man, go ahead.
Okay, so let's get back to the beginning of the week, because that's July 21st. So starting on Tuesday, July 18th, PS4 owners, they can get Orcs Must Die, Unchained, Fallen Legion, Sins of an Empire, Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles, and 8-Bit Armies. Now, 8-Bit Armies will also be available for Xbox One owners. Now, also being released next week on PS4, we have Conga Master, Super Hot, and Fortnite. Now, all three of these titles will be released on July 21st. And for those that own the PSVR, there will be a Super Hot VR edition. Now, as far as Fortnite goes, that will also be on the Xbox One. So owners that can play it on which system they prefer. So now let's go just to Xbox. We have Moon Hunters and What Remains of Edith Finch, which both will be released on July 19th. And then on the 20th, we have Gigantic, which will also be released on PC. And then to cap off next week's releases, we have Conga Master, which releases for Xbox One on July 21st. So that's all I got for new releases, folks. So let's shift it over to Mike with Deals of the Week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, germs and bacteria. Let's see what we got going on today. For the month, Games of Gold, free games. July 1st to 31st is Grow Up. July 16th to August 15th is Runbow. July 1st to the 15th, you got 2 days left to get Kane and Lynch Part 2 Dog Days. On the 360 after that, you will be able to get Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. So that does it for Xbox. And the full lineup right now for the month for PS4 is Until Dawn, Game of Thrones, Tokyo Jungle, Darkstalkers, Resurrection, Elemental, Don't Die, Mr. Robots. And that's what you got going on there. So let's get to the deals that are going on with Xbox right now. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is $29.99 via Newegg right now. Zero Cleaner plus the Swindle, $15 on the Microsoft Store. Mass Effect Andromeda and Deluxe are $29.99, $34.99 on Xbox Store. Now here's an interesting one. 3D Ultra Mini Golf is $5 on the Xbox Store right now. It's a 360 game and it's backwards compatible. It's a really fun game. And when you get it, you also get 1,000 reward credits too. So if you haven't played it before, I think they're trying to sort of revitalize it a little bit because it was a lot of fun. So maybe check that out. For Honor Used, $19.99 via GameFly. I'm starting to think that maybe that game was just too hard for most people to get a grip on. So, and last but not least, this is a really good deal right now. I don't know how much longer it's going to be available on Amazon, but it's 3 months of Xbox Live plus a $10 Xbox Live credit for $25 via Amazon.
What?
So, yeah, they did the same thing in the UK, but they did it earlier. It was £15 for 3 months and a £10 credit. So I don't know why they didn't give us the same deal.
That's free pounds. I mean, how can you turn down some free pounds?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that they were going to do that while the big Xbox sale was on. That way I was going to pick up Tropico for just $2.50. I got 3 months of Xbox for $27, in a free game, but they didn't get it on there fast enough. And last one, Xbox One S wireless controller in black or white. Newest model is $37.99 on Newegg via eBay, which is a really good deal. So now's the time to buy those controllers because they're coming down in price, and just like Xbox Live, your subscriptions, they'll probably go back up and not come back down later, especially when the X is released. All right, so Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8. $34.99 at GameStop right now. Mega Man Legacy Collection on the PS4 is $14.41 via Walmart. Seagate 3 terabyte external hard drive. Doesn't matter what system you put it on. Amazon $69.99. It's a pretty damn good deal right there. Let's see. Super Hot VR and bundle 20% off a pre-order with Plus right now. And that's pretty much all that's going on with. I got one for you, Grammy.
What you got for me?
Prime deal. Horizon Zero Dawn, $49.99. Loonies, 32% taken off. 3 hours remaining. No, that can't be right because it's still up. And
yeah,
3 days remaining. So you might want to go check that one out. And lastly, Western Digital 4 terabyte Elements portable external hard drive is $109.99 at Amazon Prime only. So that's pretty much it for PS4. There is one Nintendo Switch deal right now, and it's Tetris for $33.88 via Amazon US. And that will pretty much do it for me. What do you got, Eugene?
Actually, Mike, I have a deal just for you.
All right.
For 99 cents on GoDaddy.com, you can buy MikeRains.com, which is, Mike Rains. Mike Rules is not available.
Yeah,
but
Mike Rains is, huh?
Yeah, Mike Rains is just for 99 cents for an entire year. You can have that domain, and you can put whatever web stuff you want to, pictures of yourself, a weekly cereal review, whatever you want to do. So 99 cents, you can't beat that. All right, let's get to Facebook questions. Blake Pops asks, is anyone going to be getting the 2DS XL, the new Nintendo 2DS XL that comes out the end of this month?
I actually think I might.
Do it, Tyler.
I've never, ever owned a Nintendo DS of any kind. So this one actually caught my eye. I might get it. And I know there's just a wealth of games to play.
Yes.
On it that I've never, ever played before. So that I was kind of looking at it. This might be the one I actually get. I don't know. What about you guys?
Well, I will not be getting one because I own a 3DS XL and I own so many other DSs. But I would recommend anybody get it. It's a great little portable handheld. The battery life is amazing on it. I can't say more great things about it. It's well worth it.
And what's
I think it's a good price. $149.
Yeah, that's
not bad at all.
That's a really that's what caught my eye was the price point.
So let me ask you experts a question here. What's the difference between the 2D XL and the 3D XL?
It doesn't have the 3D slider on the side, so it doesn't have 3D capability, which is fine with me because I play with it off anyway. It's annoying. It hurts my eyes, and plus it takes up your battery life. So, I'm all down for that.
Yeah, I do use the 3D aspect, but not a lot. Some games you don't need it, but some games it does help it along, But like I said, some people don't like it, so it's preference.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was actually a 3D thing or if it was just a number that they gave the new unit. You know what I mean? Because it could have been like a 4DS, 5DS, whatever. Who knows?
No.
So I have never had an experience with it before. 149, man, that's very tempting. When's it coming out again?
July. I want to say like July 28th. One of the last Fridays of this month, whatever that is.
I may do that.
I just hope they don't come out with a Zelda edition, because then I will have to buy it.
Yeah, they won't. My take on it is I mean, it's a good deal. I want to buy it, but with all the games coming out this fall, I don't know if I'll pick it up. Hopefully, it's readily available for the holiday season. The only difference is they've released a 2DS before, which was just a flat pancake-looking thing that didn't fold, and it had the 3DS capabilities, but it didn't have the slider, for the 3D effect. That was the only difference. So this one has the processor that the new Nintendo 3DS has in it. But I mean, I have seven or 8 DSs in my house, so I don't know if I can justify buying it. It'll just be to put it in my shelf, So.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, shit.
Yeah. So, question, guys: do you think you two Nintendo fans, especially, do you think this is going to be hard to get? Do you think this is something that you have to pre-order, or is this something that I should be able to walk into a store and get?
I would say you could walk to the store and get it. I'm really surprised. It's a good price, so a lot of people probably will be jumping on it price-wise. Yeah. But manufacturing, there'll be lots of them.
Okay. Excellent.
Thank you.
What else do we have?
All right, so let's talk about. So we have a follow-up question to. We talked about Castlevania. So with the instant renewal of the Castlevania series on Netflix, what other video games would you like to see turned into shows? And this is from Ian DeShepard.
That's a very good question, Ian. That's a very, very, very good question. I think everybody else is picking their brains right now.
No, so, I have one, actually.
Oh, we know what yours is.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, you don't know mine. No, you don't know mine, actually. Actually, I could have two. I'll say the one that you weren't thinking, and the other one, like, I was thinking that one. But I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like with live people, though, not a cartoon. I think that could work as a TV series. Like, why not? I would watch it for sure. Like, that was my childhood. I loved Ninja Turtles, and I pretty much every episode I can watch, whether it's the cartoon or whatever. Like, they always seem to be catchy, and I like the martial arts aspect of it. But another one that I think would be a pretty cool TV series too would be one based on Fallout.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's actually what
you were allowed to have one, Grammy. One.
I cheated.
Well, we're gonna go with Fallout because the other one was a game based on a series already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go Fallout. All right.
I think that with all of the following that Sailor Moon gets, that maybe an Animal Crossing game Animal Crossing show or a Stardew Valley show, something like that, will probably get a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my throw.
Okay. Eugene, what do you think?
They've already made a Zelda cartoon back in the day. It would. Yeah. I don't think it would hurt to do a remake. But I would like to see a live action Zelda TV show, just really cinematic with great camera work. I can kind of see it with maybe the same art style and direction that Game of Thrones has. But with Link going on an adventure, finding the Triforce, whatever. I'd like to see a live action.
That would be pretty amazing, but yeah, I wouldn't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
Who plays Link? Macaulay Culkin?
He's too cracked out now. He wouldn't be a good choice.
How about Orlando Bloom?
I was a second.
He's too old. Too old.
But he's got the ears.
He's got the ears.
What about that guy? What about that kid that played the new Spider-Man? Maybe he can jump in.
Oh, maybe.
What about the kid? What about that guy from the Crying Game?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about either. God. Go ahead.
It's the same. All right. Jackass, listen real quick. It's the same guy who played Raw in what's that one movie you guys like? Stargate.
Okay. I don't think we've ever talked about Stargate.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Never watched an episode in my life.
No, not the series, the movie.
I've seen Stargate once. I don't remember.
His eyes glow in it. He goes woo, and everybody gets all assed up and stuff. Remember that part?
No.
Long black hair.
No. But all right. But it would make a good cereal though. So we'll leave it at that.
They've already had a Zelda cereal back in the late 80s.
Yes.
They had a Zelda cereal, so.
Are you talking about the Crying Game cereal? I mean, like for somebody who hates their career, or
that
what?
Sounds like a horrible cereal.
Yeah, not the Crying Game cereal, the glowing eyes cereal. But anyway, I like the idea of an animated series actually because I think that gives you a lot more freedom for telling stories and without the production value and having to pay the actors. And because the problem with whenever you do a live action adaptation of a video game, the budget's always pretty low. So you end up getting sort of B-list actors, and the special effects are, what you'd expect out of a low-budget production. And just look at Halo Nightfall.
Yeah.
That was something a lot of people were really excited for, and it was awful.
I just had an idea. I had an idea, and Tyler, you're going to love this. a Dead Space TV show.
Yes, I love that idea. I think that's awesome.
I thought you were going to say BioShock.
No. That'd be cool, too.
I think BioShock would be great. I think BioShock would be better live action. I think BioShock would be a great movie versus an actual TV show.
I mean, Wolfenstein. I might have said this before.
That would be a great movie, too, I think. I'm trying to think, like, TV show. I mean, the easy answer is, like, your super shooters, like your Call of Duties, etc. But where I'm going to go with all the factions that exist, and you know how popular like Game of Thrones is and things like that. I'm going to go with Destiny. Because there's a bunch of different factions kind of working against and with each other. By the way, I don't know if anybody saw this that's listening, but Bungie has stated this week that Destiny 2 has so much story content in it that they're actually hoping people complain about how much there is.
There'll be people complaining about the story, I'm sure.
But, I'm sure. But they want people to complain about that there's too much story. So they've kind of gone the complete opposite of the first game.
We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think there's a lot of room there to tell stories with some of the characters that exist and all that type of thing. And I think that's more maybe made for an actual series type of thing. Kind of like Star Wars Rebels or something like that. You know, where you see the characters evolve over time. But that's my answer. And I'm sure there's a better one out there. It's just the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, there are.
Let's just get more series.
Just because you're a Destiny hater, because you didn't like Destiny.
Brother, I'm just kidding. I'm just you know.
I have actually full confidence. I have full confidence Destiny 2 is going to be great. And I'm probably so confident that I'm going to be disappointed. But we'll see.
We'll see.
I think it'll be good.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. So Brian Richland asks, I've been playing a lot of hey Brian. Everyone say hey Brian.
No.
Okay. So I've been playing a lot of classic old games recently and got me thinking, which style do you like better? The older, harder style of games or newer, mostly easier style? So what do we think about how some games were torturous back in the day?
They were.
To play some, very torturous. So what do you guys think about that?
I'll go first here real quick. I think my first answer is I want to see it like it was.
Yeah.
Because you look back at how rewarding it was to complete some of those games. Mm-hmm. And, you kind of yearn for that again. But then again, we're so conditioned now to playing games the way they are. I think that the moment we put games in, it had to be as difficult as games were, 15, 20 years ago, we'd be like, screw this shit, I'm shutting this off.
Yeah, like 3 lives and you start all the way over from the beginning.
And we go back to Call of Duty or whatever, so...
Yeah.
That's what I think the reaction would be. Look at like a game like Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori and the Blind Forest is legitimately as tough as games were back then.
Yeah.
Like that is a hard game.
You beat me to it.
I think it is. I think that is a legitimately difficult game in a lot of spots. So it is really fun. And but the cool thing is how rewarding it is when you finally get it. Yeah. And you get through a stage or through a part of the game.
Yeah.
Nice thing about that, which kind of makes it easy, is you can pretty much save any time.
Yeah, so that's different. That's what's different from back then.
Yeah.
That didn't exist back then. So I even look at a game like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, like way back, and think about like how tough it was to beat Tyson the first time you fought him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard. And you got knocked out repeatedly until you kind of figured out, like the dude who blinks in the crowd, is like the sign that it's coming and stuff like that.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy.
I found out about it recently.
Yeah, there's a guy that blinks in the crowd, and that's the indication that it's coming. So you see it, and you're able to predict it and move and whatever, and that helps you beat it. And Nintendo loves to throw little things like that in their games, but that was legitimately hard to beat. And now you look at like Fight Night Round 3, for example, like that's the easiest. That's one of the easiest thousands on Xbox for gamer score. So it's just it's totally changed. And part of me wants to say, I want to play games the way they were, but part of me says I'm so conditioned now the way it is that I would just shut it off.
And that's the way I think too. Is we are conditioned, but I think the mindset behind developers is different nowadays. They focus more on the experience, and some experiences with some games like Dark Souls specifically and Bloodborne is that those are hard games. The Witness was an extremely hard puzzle game. Braid, I remember playing Braid on the 360. And
yeah,
that was
Braid's not
hard.
easy.
Yeah, that was a hard, especially like towards the end. Like I had to go on YouTube to figure out how to solve some of those puzzles. Yeah, it's a difficult game, but we focus more now on the experiences and the story and graphics, not mostly on. Back in the day with Nintendo, I don't know about you guys, which I was kind of spoiled. I grew up in South Korea, and I got black market carts with like 150 games in one. But man, video games were expensive back then. I mean, it was $60, $70 back in 1990, which 1990 what was minimum wage? Probably $3 an hour. So like, how do people?
No, it wasn't that low. It was $4.25 at the time. I remember.
So $4.25 even. Like how much would you have to? How many days would you have to work just to buy one game? Games were expensive, and I remember like when I did get like an actual cartridge, like I didn't have that many. If I got a game for Christmas, that was my game for like 6 months. So I had to enjoy it, and that's why games I think were made like that back then, because they wanted people to get that enjoyment and get that replayability factor. I mean, they focused a lot on replayability back then. I mean, you can even to this day play Super Mario 3, and it's just as good as you played it in 1990. It's still a fun game that's still relevant.
Plus, there was no arcade back then. There was no games for like $5. Everything was full price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you're right. You had to save. And the only other thing I want to throw in, sorry, before I turn it over to you guys, is I think gaming's changed in the last 30 years. In that 30 years ago, it was still very niche. So games were made for gamers, whereas now I think games are made to be mainstream. Games are made for mass adoption.
They're entertainment.
Yeah, they're entertainment.
Media forms.
So they're made to make 15, 20 million people buy and play them, not the hardcore 5 million, or 3 million or whatever it is. So to do that, you obviously have to make it easier to make people enjoy the game, because not everybody's as skilled as your hardcores that play like 8 hours a day or 6 or 5 or whatever. And I think that just results in games becoming easier and easier and easier. Now, there are the exceptions, Eugene, like you brought up Dark Souls, where they don't care. They're going to make a game for gamers, and it's going to be hard. But that game's built a reputation for being that, and it's popular because of that. But it's hard to do that breaking in a brand new. And Mike or Eugene, anything else on that?
Yeah, it really depends on the flavor. Like for like an MMO, I much prefer a harder, older one like Ultima Online than say World of Warcraft, because in Ultima Online, everything was risk versus reward. And if you died, you definitely lost a lot of stuff. In World of Warcraft, it's just a minor inconvenience. And for some reason, having that loom over your head and, your actions mattering and stuff like that, it just seemed to be far more fun to me and far more challenging. So, and then you can talk about the single player games like Ghosts and Goblins, which I thought was a great game, and even though I never finished it, but beyond that, that's pretty much all I have to say on it.
I was going to say there's 2 games I could never beat when I was little, and one of them was Ghosts and Goblins, and the other was Punch-Out. I couldn't get Punch-Out. I could never understand. You would have to watch and learn how these guys would fight you, and I couldn't get it. But like Ninja Turtles was a hard game that people said was hard to play, but I beat that. And then also Contra. But Contra, I tried playing Contra a few months ago, and I used to remember when I was little, me and my sister would co-op that game, and we would beat it flat, like 10 minutes, real easy. No problems whatsoever. But I tried playing it a couple months ago, and like instant death at the very beginning of the game. And I'm
but didn't Contra have like a super hard difficulty level?
It was. Apparently it was a hard game, but when I was little, I never noticed it. I played that game. Yeah, I played that game like it was nothing. But man, try playing that game now, and you would just be like, man, screw this game. But Ghosts and Goblins notoriously was for me. I couldn't beat it when I was little, and I definitely couldn't beat it when I was now. I think I made it to stage 2 when I was little, like just that first cemetery part where you have to fight that flying skeleton or goblin or whatever it was like impossible for me. So yeah, hard games back in the day. I don't want them back. Don't bring them back.
Well, there's no, you had if you had the Nintendo Advantage, that controller, the whole joystick thingy, which is huge. Mm-hmm. That was easier. Yeah. And I remember like track and field. If you had the Nintendo Advantage, you were pretty awesome at freaking track and field. Yeah. So,
or Game Genie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey Graham, what do you think?
What do I think? Well, I just talked about for 10 minutes what I thought, but
anything else?
I mentioned about Ninja Turtles. That was a game that I never completed. Like back in the day, most games, I didn't have very many games. Like basically that's when you would trade and get lend of games. I beat every game that I played until I owned Ninja Turtles, and that was a game that I never beat. So
cool.
Yeah. So I understand how they try to make games not ridiculously hard that nobody wants to try and beat them, but they also offer settings where the game is ridiculously hard and they're hard to beat. So now at least they give you the option where they don't just segregate like you have to be an amazing player and click on the buttons or you're just going to die every time.
Yeah. Right. In closing, I think that they still do give you a taste via, let's see here, Shovel Knight, Castle Crashers.
Yep.
Stuff like that. So.
And Cuphead coming out, like that game.
That's supposed to be. They had to make it easier, right? Because it's hard. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that was the reason.
Fun fact.
Yeah, go ahead, Eugene. Go ahead.
Did you guys know that Super Mario 2 for the NES that we got in America? Where you're like you play as the 4 characters and everything. That is not the original Super Mario 2 that came out in Japan.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's actually it's a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic that they just switch out the sprites with Mario characters, and that's the game you're playing. That's why you never see those characters like the enemies and stuff in any other game, because that game, the Super Mario 2 that they came out with in Japan was too hard. They thought for American audiences, so they changed the game in America.
And go figure, that's the first game I beat.
Yeah, you can actually play Super Mario, the original Super Mario 2. It's called Super Mario Lost Levels. If you played Super Mario All Stars.
That's
Lost Levels was the original. Yeah, Lost Levels is the original Super Mario 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that's cool.
That kind of makes sense because it's pretty much like Mario 1, like the dungeon stuff like that.
Right.
They're just way harder.
So
I have that one too. Yay.
So one last thing is we've been talking recently, and it's made me think of this and it makes me laugh about how we're gonna play games now in like easier casual setting just to get through the story because we don't want to deal with playing it on hard. And games now are so much easier than they used to be. So before we think about yearning back to the old days, we should think about that. How we're like saying, "Hey, I just want to play on easy just to get through the story and move on to another game now."
It's all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns nowadays. It's all easy for us. Yeah. Easy unicorns.
Yes, unicorns.
Is it rainbow-colored unicorns?
Really? Yeah.
Something like that. Something like that. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Before we wrap up, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. If you're listening, hopefully you didn't notice. Hopefully we edited this well enough. First, if you're watching on stream, we do apologize. First time we've ever had the Skype call drop. But hopefully that won't happen anytime in the near future again. So, do apologize.
62 episodes in, that's not bad.
If it happens once every 62, I think we're okay. It was just funny just going on talking and having nobody responding to me for a while. So, yeah, that's fun.
I ran it. It was the one-man Graham show for a little bit.
It's Grabo. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We thank you so much for listening to episode number 62. We'll be back next week with episode number 63. And until then, next week, head on over to culturegaming.com on Monday. We should have the site up by then. Check that out, and you can get all your gaming news there. Also, head on over to Facebook and join our Facebook group at Gaming Culture Radio forums. And submit questions to be read on the show next week so you can be entered for our drawing just like Blake, Ian, and Brian were tonight. So next week
for your question.
Yep. So thank you again for listening to episode number 62. We'll be back next week with 63. Until then, everybody, have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week.
And enjoy your cereal.
Guys.